chess friends, and welcome to Jozarov's chess channel, and welcome to my best chess games of all time series. So in this series we follow the best of the best chess games that have been ever played in chess history. And today I wanted to show you really an attacking beauty played by the legendary magician from Riga, Mikhail Tal. So the game is from 1953. It was against Mark Pasman in the Latvia National Chess Championship, which Mikhail Tal won. And after he won that tournament, he was a well-known player. Before that, he was basically sort of an incognito guy, and here in this tournament he deserved all of the respect of this chess community. So what to say about Mikhail Tal? He was always playing his style. He didn't care if he wins, if he loses. He just played really his attacking style, although his calculations maybe weren't the most accurate. But his games were really fun to watch, and that's why I really love to watch his games, to publish his games, and to analyze these games. And in this game, you'll see that his opponent had better moves because the tactics that Mikhail Tal was preparing were not accurate. So if his opponent would have played the game very accurate, then Mikhail Tal would be on the losing side. But of course, when you play against an attacker, it's hard always to defend. And I read really an article that said Garry Kasparov was playing a tournament at the age of 16, and he had also some tactics which he didn't apply in his game because he was maybe a little bit scared. Maybe he just wanted to win the game, didn't win the game, and didn't win the tournament. Because he didn't see these tactics, he had this move in mind, but he didn't dare to play the move. And after that game, Mikhail Tal went to Garry Kasparov and said to him, first you make the tactics and then you calculate. So it's not the way around. So see, these are really the two differences between Mikhail Tal and Garry Kasparov, I think, because that's why also Mikhail Tal was only 1 year world champion, because he never changed his style. Garry Kasparov, on the other hand, he knew how to play tournament games, how to even draw games, just in order to keep himself on the number one, and that's why he lasted, I think, also so long in this in the number one or the world championship. So let's see the game. Mikhail Tal against Mark Pasman, Latvia national championship, which I said Mikhail Tal won. He won it also in 1960. We have a really great Najdorf, and here Tal played e4. We have c5, knight on f3, and d6 by Pasman. So d4, c takes d4, knight takes on d4. This is still common theory, of course. Knight on f6, and now knight on c3. We have a6, which is always sort of a showing cards move. With the a6 move, here Pasman is preparing this Najdorf's defense with e6, bishop on e7, with some preparation maybe to play even the b5. He can transpose into the Scheveningen style of the Benoni, pardon me, of the Najdorf defense. And here, well, Tal goes immediately for the f4. And here really the best move to get rid of this aggressive central control is to play the e5, which Pasman also did in the game. We have knight on f3, and now knight from b to d7. Now bishop on d3. We are staying with this very firm structure here in the center. We are not allowing some pawn breakthroughs here in the center with potential d5 and similar ideas. We're waiting black to take. Here e takes f4, then after bishop on f4, this pawn on d6 would be a weakness. On the other hand, Mikhail Tal would then have a weak pawn on e4, so it would be a really aggressive game. But of course, never black is going to take this pawn on f4 and allow his opponent to develop with the tempo. So that's why here Pasman played sort of a delaying move, bishop on e7, and now castling by Tal. Castling by black, and now king on h1. Also, again, delaying move, because again we're waiting black to take. But here b5, which is, I think, a good move here by black. Again, not allowing some simplifications here in the center. If on the other hand white takes, c takes, f takes e5, then again d takes e5, it's not a problem because we have a good protection of this e5 pawn. After the move bishop on b7, as said, this e4 pawn would be hanging. Then after that we have also some possibilities to play something like queen on c7, which is a flexible move, then defend this e5, and then play knight on c5, creating more pressure against this e4 pawn. So but that didn't happen here. A3 played by Tal, preventing of course some b4 ideas, also very important because then the knight has to go away from this natural square on c3. Knight on d5 is also not so powerful because we can simply take, and then this d5 would be an isolated pawn. So here queen on c7, this is now this common setup of the Najdorf, or the sort of setup. Of course then the idea is to play bishop on b7, and if the position allows it, if it's possible, some of the ideas can be just to push the pawn here on d5, really create a dynamic center here. So f takes e5. Now finally Tal releases the pressure in the center because he realized that black could have a good activity with his pieces. We have d takes e5, and now knight on h5. Here is also attack. If the bishop would have been here, then always there is this tactical possibility to create this attack and then to take this bishop, but it's not possible so far because of course we can first take with the bishop and then attack the rook. But this is also a very nice tactical idea when you see that your opponent plays sort of an with this knight on the edge of the board. So sometimes it's possible to create a discovered attack. In this particular position it's not possible, but you should keep that in mind when you play your own games. So knight on c5, we have bishop on g5. If knight takes on d3, after bishop on g5, it's not so powerful because after c takes d3, you see we can always take away this knight, which is the key defender of this d5 square. And you see these weak squares in black's position are of course this f5 and d5, and that's where we want to cement our knights. So giving up this knight in an early stage of the game in this static position is also a little bit risky because then you don't have any more the control of the center. So that's why here after bishop on g5, queen on d8 was played by Pasman, and here knight on f5 by Tal. We have bishop takes on f5, rook takes on f5, and you see now Pasman I think has a good position here because this bishop, although it's a good protective piece, is a little bit blocked out by its own pawns, so it's not participating in the attack. On the other hand, we should, from black's perspective, somehow try to maybe get rid of this starship bishop, which is a good piece in white's position. So that's why here knight on d7 was played. Here bishop takes on e7, queen takes on e7. Okay, knight on d5, of course creating a very nice attack against the queen. Queen on d6, and now queen on g4. Pardon me. So after queen on g4, we have now an attack, of course, against this g7 square, but it has to be more prepared. There are some possibilities to play rook on f1 and then knight on f3. Knight on f6 is very dangerous because you have a very dangerous spin, and but again here after g6 you have to do something. Here Tal of course continued to attack with the rook on f1 and has now perfect battery. Maybe a better idea for black would have been to somehow challenge the knight on d5 immediately, not to allow him to stay with this powerful knight. And after rook on f6, seems that you lose a piece, but now you have queen on the d7, and after queen takes on d7 you can recapture with the knight. And here after rook on c6, I think that black has solved the problems. Of course you have to do something with your knights, but in a couple of moves you can really challenge this knight on d5 and then play much more freely with your own knight, because as I mentioned, the main problem in white's position is this bad bishop on d3. So as mentioned, after knight queen on g4, g6 was played, and now rook on f1. Of course you cannot take the rook so far, you have to go away with your king. We have f6 by Pasman, and now h4. Tal is simply trying to open the position because he has now a perfect coordination of pieces, and here Pasman goes away from the g file, and now rook on f3. We have f5, and in this position black is better. Black is much better here. You have to do something. You see your e4 pawn is attacked, which is supported by the knight. And here Tal, as said, first do the tactics and then calculate. He played, of course, the move e takes f5, and of course the knight is hanging. We have queen takes on d5, f takes g6, now rook takes on f3, and here Tal played a seemingly good move. It seems that aggressive, but it's basically a mistake, because here Pasman has king on g8, and now Mikhail Tal sacrificed another piece and gives up his bishop, and here king on h7 was played. It seems that white is attacking. White has maybe a winning position, but it's really not so. Here the evaluation is winning for black. Here after rook takes on f3, black should have proceeded with queen on e6, and I don't think that Tal has anything here left in the continuation of the game, because you can try a check, but here after simply queen on g6, black is better. Black is winning. White is basically forced to trade off the queens, and then the position is simplified. You have two extra knights which can compete, of course, against this 3 pawns. So but playing against Tal is always annoying, because you have to play the next moves very accurate. If you don't do that, he'll crush you with his attacking formations. Here after knight on e4, now h5, played by Tal, knight on f6, and now queen on g6. You'll see in the next couple moves, Pasman is allowing Mikhail Tal to go back. This knights seem a little bit uncoordinated. They cannot create some checks. King on g8, and now h6. Very dangerous, again with some preparations to play h7 even. Rook on a7 was played, and a better move again was to play simply knight on h7, creating a blockade against this potential advanced pawn here on h7. So that's why here after h6, after rook on a7, Tal simply played h2, king on h2, because he was scared a little bit of some potential checks. If you try something like queen on d2 here, from black's perspective, this would be the best move now in the continuation. Okay, black can try something like h7. You can simply take, but now after taking of the knight, we have queen on d6, and I think black can handle this position. It's still nothing that you have to worry about, because you have a very nice protection of the 7th rank. But in this position, after if black tries here rook on h3, again it's not good, because it's basically losing. You have queen on f4, the king has to go, and then queen on f2, and here after king on h2, again we have some dangerous threats. You can again block out the position here with knight on h7, or play something like queen on f4. Again you have to retreat with the king, and now really combined with these two knights, it will be very dangerous for white. So but here after king on h2, now black makes the decisive mistake. Black plays rook on e7, and from this point on, now we have a really nice attacking brilliancy by Mikhail Tal. He played first rook on h3. Now it's a different situation. You don't have any more these check possibilities. Knight on h7 was played, and now Tal played rook on d3. Of course, the idea is to play rook on d8, and a very dangerous threat with promotion on g8. So that's why here Pasman went with the queen on a8, protecting his back rank, and here Mikhail Tal played a very nice queen sacrifice, queen on e4. So sacrifice another piece, queen takes on e4, and now rook on d8. You have to go with your king on f7, but now we can get another queen and the promotion, queen on g8. You have to play king on f6, now rook on d6. You have to have only one square, king on f5, but now again you see how this rook and the queen are working perfectly fine. Queen on g6, the king has to retreat here on f4, but now g3, we have king on e3, and now rook on d3, and now it's basically game over. Whatever you do, you get checkmated. You have to give up the queen. Queen takes on d3, and here Mikhail Tal played queen takes on d3, and in this position black resigned. It was really game over. And Tal was a little bit lucky, I have to admit here, because Black didn't find the best moves. But it's sometimes really much easier for you to attack than just to defend. You see, when you're defending, you have to find the best moves. When you attacking, the next moves are coming to you more natural. And here, of course, Mikhail Tal, when you give him the opportunity, he'll use every moment and will crush you very effectively. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this game. You can follow my other best chess games of all times with some more Mikhail Tal, Bobby Fischer, Garry Kasparov games, and many more. And you can also watch my commented chess games played by computers, in which I show you some analyzed games played by Stockfish, Little C0, and many more. And you can also subscribe to my channel if you like this content. Thanks you for watching, guys, and chess is the best, of course.